So the springs got here early, super excited. I'm gonna go ahead and do an unboxing, see what comes in it or in the box, kind of go through the contents and enjoy the goodness. So, as you guessed it, Shock Therapy, hooked it up, got here a little early. They had some great deals going. I guess they don't do sales except for maybe once a year. So I got these on Black Friday, 20% off. Shipping took a little bit longer, but that's just because I believe they're closed Friday through Sunday. And since it was a Black Friday deal, it was ordered on Friday, and the order didn't get processed until the following week. So it took about a week to get here, but that's not too bad. So I'm going to try to do this left-handed without cutting my finger off. I've heard their packing is unbelievable, and it looks like it is. Well, looking good. Crossover rings. Front upper, front lower, the other two out of here. Oh, best part of all, stickers. And those are the rears. It's looking like my spring compressor is going to come in the next 2 or 3 days, so I will start working on the shocks when I get that. Unfortunately, I cannot compress them enough to get the original springs on, but that is coming. So hopefully in the next day or two I will have that spring compressor. I'll get those front coils off, the new ones on, get them all set up. I'll probably film that as well. I'm going to do the Shock Therapy settings right out of the gate. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to test it before our next trip, but I'll definitely get some film on our next trip and just kind of give you my thoughts. Change in plans. I don't know if I could wait to do the front springs and wait for the spring compressor. As I said in my last video, I'm pretty sure that I can get the rears off, and I might go that route. I'm thinking about just putting the front shocks back on, just putting the bolts through and not tightening anything down, jacking the back of the car up, and then taking the rears off. As I said, there's a ton of room on the shock shaft. I think if I just pull the preload all the way up, I can actually take the rear springs off. I don't know if I'll be able to get the new ones on, but I think I'm going to do it. I can't wait. Okay, so I put the front shocks back on. I'm kind of an impatient person. I don't want to wait for the spring compressor and get things done. So I put the front shocks back on. I am moving to the rear. My problem is I have a battery powered impact gun. It's just not strong enough to get these bolts off. So it takes 2 people, one on a wrench, one on a socket. The ones up here are really hard to get to. So I think I'm actually just going to leave the shock on and then just pull the springs off. I've got everything loose. Turn this up a little bit further. I've already cleaned all the threads. Just going to take the spring off, and then probably I may have to move the collar all the way up to put the new springs on, but we will see. I think if I get everything off, I'll just wipe it down. I know Shock Therapy's secret sauce is simple green, and I've got some of that, so I'll probably just clean everything up, Maybe put a little bit of WD-40 on the threads just to give it a little bit of lube. I know WD is not a lube, but it will definitely help when moving this collar up and down. Okay, update. So I got the springs off on both sides. I have the preload on both sides set and the crossover ring on. So the top is 2 inches from here to here. And then from the bridge to the bottom of the crossover is 8 inches. It's on both sides, so that is set and ready to go. Unfortunately, I cannot get the springs on. There's just maybe an inch to where I cannot put the collar back on, so I will have to wait for the spring compressor. I mean, it's just barely, even if I put the preload all the way to the top, it's maybe ½ inch to an inch, to where I just cannot get the spring up far enough to get the collar back on. So more to come. I will wait. I think it's supposed to, the spring compressor is supposed to be here on the 10th or the 11th. I'm hoping the 10th, if not sooner, but we will have to see. But those are ready to go. I cleaned everything up with some Simple Green, and then I put a little bit of WD-40 on the threads and spun the preload up and down just to get a little bit of again, not lube, but just some help in there to kind of clean them up. Quick comparison. That's the stock rears compared to this shock therapy rears, and that's the big difference right there. I mean, just look at that. You can see it very well, but the stock tenders compared to the new tender springs, huge difference. One more thing, these things take a beating. I don't know if you can see it very well. Don't take these off. These are just scratched and chipped, all from rocks, I'm assuming from the front tires. So I know that there's some aftermarket trailing arms out there, whether they're long travel or just high clearance, that you're supposed to take these off and put them on backwards. Man, can you imagine? That's all your shock shaft and your springs. So if you can, do not take these off or find something else to replace them.